Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's January 11th, 2022, and yesterday Thea and I posted our first video. We've got some nice comments so far from that as well. And I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update behind the scenes, what has been going on. So a couple of months ago, well, probably about 4 months ago, I injured my back lifting a granite countertop into someone who purchased some granite countertop from us. And I've had that flare up 3 different times. So over the last 2 months, most of my time I've been laying flat in bed. Either standing or laying flat are the only 2 ways that tend to resolve the inflammation of the sciatic nerve, the impingement from the discs that are causing so much inflammation. So that has worked out pretty well. About 2.5 months ago, our main video editing computer, which is my fastest computer, which is still in the master bedroom. We're in the master bedroom here, the only bedroom, and the monitor for the video editing computer is a big 55-inch television, and that went boom. It popped. You smelled smoke, big flash, and that actually fried the power supply, damaged the graphics card, which is still working at this point but not great, and took out the hard drive. So I've got all that hooked up, and I've been laid up here as well. Since Thea retired, we've been trying to do some remodeling because we had lots of roller carts right in here holding lots of my video equipment and lots of my drawing and design stuff and paperwork, and so we've been gradually working at trying to get these things organized. So over to my left, right of screen here is the desk where you've seen me in some of the more recent videos sitting, and we're trying to explore and see what we can do as far as video with lighting, background, trying to make things a little bit better for the times when we can sit down and answer questions and that sort of thing. So we made a little makeshift 8-foot long little desk going out to our southern part of our house. So all of it, since it's a passive solar home, the predominant glass on the house is all facing south. There's some to the east, a little bit to the west, one small window to the north facing the main entrance to the property. But if you look out these windows, right now you can see it's all snow and all white out there right now. But that's where the eastern garden plot and the dog run are, right outside the window. So that just orients you as where I am physically and all. So when the sun's too bright, we're going to be working on trying to do our backdrop here and work on lighting and all. But this is an exploration. I mounted one light fixture up here. Today I set one down here to see how things look. Hopefully it'll look a little bit better than a video that we posted yesterday, but we'll see. So the other thing I wanted to accomplish today in today's video is to respond to some of the comments and questions that we've been getting as well. So let me go to the comments on the YouTube thing here. So Cabo said, happy birthday, Thea, and happy 40th, and wine glasses clicking here, so thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And Thea's had a great video, and retirement has been very exciting for both of us, and I think Thea's really enjoying it a lot thus far. Kate wrote, Thea, a video of all the projects that need to be done would be great, is a great idea. Woohoo, so glad you'll be around. We've been waiting for you to retire. You guys will start rocking through the projects. Excited to see to see Thea around in here as well. And I got a question. This is from a video I probably posted a few years ago, the 10 characteristics of great designers. And I don't even remember what I said in that. I'm sorry about bumping the camera here. I've made a few videos on designing and all, and so Jill actually asked, do you do residential thermal mass design for rehab? And I've had lots of questions about the thermal mass, so I've done videos on the thermal mass both in the greenhouse and in this house. There is a video that I posted within the last few months, starting back in 1984 when we first started building the house that we're in now. It's a post and beam salt box. That's the shape of the house, facing south, passive solar house, super insulated, large thermal mass unit in the base of the house. And I've made videos about in the past, a couple of years ago, about how much money it's saved us over the years. And so we've been able to take that money and invest it in other things like our solar panels out back and all. And so we're all about having as much of a beneficial impact on our environments and have as little waste generated and damage and all. So there are videos on all of those topics, and I'll try to put together a video that addresses several of the questions about the thermal mass. How is thermal mass used for cooling and all? And so I've got to shoot some more footage out in the root cellar because that uses geothermal nature's thermal mass to maintain a refrigerant temperature in the root cellar. And we need to talk again, and I've done this before, about convection currents, water and air, conduction and radiation or radiant, and get a little bit into the science. Like radiant heat doesn't transfer. All right, so radiant, conduction, and convection currents and convection are the ways that heat is transferred from one unit to another unit. And heat always transfers from the higher heat source to the lower heat source, sort of like osmosis in a sense. But radiant heat is different. It doesn't have a direct contact as well, and that's why when you walk by something, that radiant heat can feel. And I've done videos in the past talking about the ways of extracting as much heat from thermal mass as possible, like reducing the 90-degree angles that we see in most, like when we look at solar greenhouse designs. I'm anal retentive, so I look at everything with a critical eye and all. And so we have these fan blowing systems that are going through ductwork that go into underground masses that have like 90-degree angles. And we really want to reduce those restrictions of airflow. And also, if we want to extract as much heat from all of the surrounding area of the mass, using suction as far as opposed to blowing works much better as well. But Jill, to actually get to answering your question, no, I'm not qualified to do consultations. I'm not an engineer. I'm retired now, and I love physics. I love science, but I'm a trained veterinary internist. So that's my area of expertise. Certainly I'm a science-based person. And if there are questions about how our systems work and how the countercurrent heat exchange system and our 3 chimneys systems work, and why we put our chimneys inside of the house as opposed to putting the chimneys on the outside of the house, and geographic locations, climate, geology. These things are all topics that I've covered in many different videos, but I haven't really done it well, and that's something that I hope to have more time to do, is to make more clear and concise titles and what do you call them, icons that you would click on for a video, and creating very specific playlists, because I'm interested in propagating various plants. I'm interested in soil structure, function, microbes. I'm interested in medicine. I'm interested in physics. I have all these areas that I'm passionate about, but I'm not an expert as far as designing structures. I've helped people with their designs, and I'm very interested in rehab, especially in low-income communities. That is something I hope to be able to do some funding in the future. That would be something I'm very interested in. But right now, I'm just not qualified to consult, unfortunately. How fast do wood chips do? Isn't there thermophilic steam from fresh bioactive wood chips killing off most if not all, of harmful microbes, and any harm is ultimately mitigated by the health of the consumer/inhaler. And this was in response to how fast do wood chips decompose. And Martin actually asked this question, and it's a really good question. I'm not sure when Martin is all right. So let me say this: isn't the thermophilic steam from fresh bioactive wood chips killing off, if not all, of the harmful microbes? So no. And if I can suggest that you watch some of my thermophilic composting. So I did large pile composting videos. I have quite a few of those with very, very large systems for someone on a small scale farm like we have. I talk about the temperatures as far as devitalizing seeds, weed seeds, and as far as killing pathogens, even things like toxoplasma, all of the different pathogens and harmful fungi. So that I've covered in other videos as far as composting. But, and it isn't steam, it isn't like there is water vapor. It's sort of like when you, on a cold day, and you look over a body of water, and you see the warmth of the water, the moisture, it's water vapors coming up. So there are moisture, they're in the form of vapor. It's not actually steam. It's not from boiling of water, it's not super high temperature. So we're getting up to 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Once we get too much higher than that, we deplete the oxygen, and that causes more anaerobic organisms. And I've gone over all this in those other videos, so I'd refer you to those. As far as the pathogens, and you may be referring to some of the videos that I've talked about, how harmful it can be to go into an enclosure where wood chips and other chipped material, not just wood chips, but leaves and small stems, have been sitting inside of a professional tree service, and it's sitting in there for a week or whatever. Those mold spores are dangerous for us to be inhaling. So wearing a mask or being very cognizant of the environment that you're in when you're dealing with that stuff. So you don't want to be breathing that stuff in. Certainly, the more competent your immune system is, the more of a chance that it isn't going to affect you as well. But the higher the concentration, in other words, if it's an enclosed environment, those decomposers are rapidly multiplying, and the spores that go into the air can create quite some health issues. Fortunately, the spores that are, there's Aspergillus. There are a whole variety of different ones that are in the environment there that can cause illness. But like when I lived in Tucson, like what's called valley fever or San Joaquin Valley fever, Coccidioides immitis, during the monsoons or when construction is being done in the areas, these spores can get up into the environment, and they can get into our bodies, they can get into our bones, and create all sorts of health issues. So always being aware of what you're working with, what are the potential hazards, and how we can reduce the potential harm. It's as important as somebody who's working in a workshop, wearing safety glasses, maybe wearing gloves when you're working out in the fields, wearing chaps, wearing good shoes when you're working with firewood, wearing good boots and protective gear and a welding helmet when you're doing fabrication. All of those things, there are potential hazards for farmers and for homesteaders as well. So I'd say take every precaution as well as you can. Transplanting the oak tree, I'm not sure what time of year that was yet. I have to go back. And just looking at, there's other comments. Since this video is getting so long, I'll try and respond to some of those with the appropriate responses to their comments as well. But I did want to at least cover some of these, and this is part of a testing to see how well the lighting's doing here, and a bit of an update as well. So if you have suggestions about videos that you'd like me to cover with some of the comments and responses, ask questions again. I'd be happy to share what knowledge I have, but again, my knowledge depth and breadth has limits, so I don't want to overstate my level of expertise. We'll keep it within its known parameters. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who has been subscribing. I'm looking forward to Thea doing videos with me. Tomorrow she might sit down and do another one with me, so that would be cool as well. So thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you find our videos of value, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, and certainly folks, stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.